Well, today we're going to be taking the modelling of the ship up to this level. Going to be adding some detail, as you can see, and in the episode after this I'm going to be showing you how to create special textures for the ship. This texture that I've got on here, they're just rubbish textures really that I've pulled from elsewhere. They're not actually meant for this. And we'll also be doing some materials. So let's crack on with doing a bit of modelling, shall we? So today I'm going to make the field generator arms for the ship, and we're going to add some more detail. Next video I expect we'll do materials, maybe with a video in between about creating textures. So let's begin. Now I'm going to have arms sticking out of the side of this ship that generate fields. So the first thing I need to do is to add a cube to form the basis of the arm, and as you can see it's come in a really crappy place. So if I select this object, snap cursor to selected, and snap selection to cursor, then at least we know it's in the middle of the ship. So I'm going to move this down so that it's at the last gap. I'm going to scale this cube way down like that. Then I'm going to scale it in the X direction, SX and SX. Should have put my cursor Control Z. SX. Should have put my cursor closer to it the last time, the edge of it. Right. So we'll pull that out. I want the end of it to be a little bit inside the spine of our ship, so it hides the end. And we'll zoom in on that a bit. And is it reasonably central? Wants to come down a bit. Still wants to come in a bit. And this is going to form the spar, if you like, that holds our field generator. It's not particularly graceful at the moment, but it will be. So we're going to edit mode, and we're going to go into face select. I already am. Just select that end face, scale it down like so. And I'm going to add some details to this as I go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select, actually I want like a grid work, a lattice work effect on this. It doesn't need to be solid. So what I want to do is I want to first of all cut this. I want to subdivide it. No, I want a loop cut and slide. I want 2 loops. Looks about right. And as you can see, I've now got these 2 loops. So if I set this to individual origins, I can do several things at once, which is always good. So I'm going to select my faces, all 3 of these faces. I'm going to hit inset faces, which is a tool we've used before recently. I'm going to Z, and let's do view selected so we can see what's going on. And we can see what's going on there at the moment, and what I needed to do is to add a double cut on each one of those. So this is no problem, we'll just Control Z Back where we were. And we want to select it all. We want to go back to loop, cut and slide again. I'll slide that loop up there. And slide that loop up to there. Now let's do this again. Go into face select, select our 3 faces. We're going to inset faces, go to S, Z, and now all we've got to do is to delete those faces by pressing X, faces. We've now got a kind of scaffolding arrangement, which is cool. Now we want to repeat that on the other faces. So I'm not worried about thickness for this because it's never going to be seen really close up. So otherwise I'd use solidify and delete and do it in a full 3D manner, but I'm not worried about it. So we select our 3 faces, insert faces, SZ, and I'm going to turn you off while I do the rest of this because there's no point in you seeing it multiples of times. And there you are, you can see what we've got, sort of like a pylon type structure with some irregularities in it, which I find interesting. I could correct them, but I'm not going to. I could have done this on a separate layer and used the symmetry tool if I'd have been bothered, but I'm not. So let's go back into solid view, back into edit. Now we need a structure on the end of it that's going to, if you like, be our field generator, and I'm going to produce that by using this plane here. So I'm going to press E for extrude, going to extrude it out slightly, going to SY for scale in the Y direction, pull it out, need to go a bit more than that, not that much, and we're going to hit E for extrude again. Now I'm just going to clip these two faces here. Both of them selected. E for extrude again. Going to top view. Now I'm going to move these faces in so that it kind of approximates the curve of the ship. That's good. And now I want to scale them in the Z direction to make the ends of that arm taper. And that's our basic field generator done. And naturally I want to add some more detail to this. So I'm going to do that now. And we're going to insert faces again. extrude into it. Inset faces again. Now I'm going to extrude out. And I'm going to scale that down. And what I want to do is I want to put some sort of light on the outside of each of these arms, so in order to be able to do that I'm going to need to extrude this out twice more to give myself some space to put materials in. And I'm going to scale it just in the Y direction, which is the direction of the green arrow. And I'm going to extrude the top of it very slightly. And that's done. So this bit here will eventually be a light. That's cool. Okay. Now we need to do something with these. I'm going to go back from individual origins, and what I want to do with these is I want to subdivide them. Subdivided 3 times, I think. Same with that. And I'm just going to kind of give these a texture. So what I'm going to do is do a checker deselect on that. I'm going to extrude these. Good. Now I want to select all of these, and there's a simple way of doing that, and that's, where is it? Select similar, coplanar. And that'll select all of them, all of the ones that are in the same plane. Go back to checker deselect again. And extrude, and extrude them by about the same amount. So now we've got quite a detailed looking device. Well, it's detailed from some views but not from others, but I think that will do us. That will do us quite nicely. So that is if I go into render view, get us on a decent side. What's it going to look like? And that's what it looks like with no materials on, and that's good enough for me. So the next thing I want to do go back to solid. Next thing I want to do is to add some spine type aerials to the rear of our ship, and I'm going to have to array all this up obviously to match these. I'll do that now actually. Where do I get the right one? Add modifier, array, it's not in the X, it's in the Z. I don't know how much I'm going to want to array this up by. And the best way of doing this without actually doing measurements and calculations is to simply zoom into this top gap and play with this number down here until you've got the top one centralised, because we know all the gaps are the same. And that looks good enough to me. And I want to duplicate it. Hit escape. Then RZ 180 to flip it over to the other side. And then move it to where it should be. Just inside our spine, which is like that. So there we've got our actual emitters for this force field that's going to go around the ship, and now for these antenna at the back. Just adjust the rotation of my light so I can see things. Because we've got cone turned on, maybe it might be a better idea to turn my light cone off actually. It's better. Okay. So what I want is I want curving spine that's going to come out of there. Now, a lot of people in Blender have difficulties drawing curved objects that are odd, but there's an easy way to do it. So let's add in a curve, surprisingly, and this is going to be a circle. Oops. And we want to move that down from where it's coming, which is at the cursor position, to down here. We want to rotate it 90 about the x-axis. No. Rotate it 90 about the z-axis. Yep. We want to scale it up. Something like that. And I want this to be a sort of ellipsoid type set of aerials. So stretch it like that, and this will form the basis of our two large aerials that are going to stick out the back of this thing. Yeah, that looks good. Now I'm going to press the space bar, CON for convert to mesh from curve, and that's converted it to a mesh, and then I'm going to move it to layer 2, and layer 2 we've got our, there you go, and we can go into edit mode. And what I want to do is I want to box select the whole of that side because I don't want it. Out to maybe there. Turn on our wonderful vertex select first, otherwise you won't get anything. X, select vertices, and on a box select up to there. X, delete vertices. Right, now I want to extrude it. Can't do that unless I'm in edit mode. Select all, E for extrude. And that should do us. Back into object mode. And now if I come out of bevel for the moment, I will use solidify to make it into a 3D shape. You can tell it's been a while since I've used Blender in anger. So there we go, use solidify, apply that, modify it, bevel, that's better. 1, 2, 3. Turn the width up. I'm now going to move it back into our ship design so we can see what we've got. And we can see that the whole thing wants to be moved to one side of it to make it central. And what I want to do is I want to taper it at the end. And the easiest way of doing that is simply by using scale and proportional selection. So I need to go into edit mode first. Proportional editing fall off, check that it's sphere, which it is, enable it, and I just want to select these end vertices here. Hit S for scale and use my mouse wheel to increase the proportional size, and we're there. And similarly I could flare it out at the other end if I wanted to, and I can do anything I like until I apply that bevel tool. I can do anything I like with it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of flare out this end, but I'm going to do it manually. So I'm going to go into object mode. I'm going to move it again into layer 2 where I can work on it without worrying about things. Back into edit mode. And what I could do, what I should do really, is turn proportional mode off, because otherwise it's going to get very confusing. So I'll do that now. And Let's just move these down. That will kind of make it join into the body of the ship more. I think I'm going to go a bit further than that though. It's, something like that. And is there any other detail I want to put on this? I don't think so. Move it back. I need to move these now inboard, otherwise it's simply not going to fit. And I've just noticed I hadn't selected that one, so let's go back into edit mode, pull that one down as well, shift, select the other one as well, and into object mode, and we'll move that to the place where we want it. Should be something like that. And that's our area. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bevel off, because the bevel just let me see really what the effect is. It's a low cost way of seeing what the effect of a subsurface is. I'm going to add a subdivision surface onto this. And apply it. And there we have quite a smooth aerial. And I'm going to copy it over to the other side. So let's duplicate, hit escape, RZ180, hit return, and because the center of it was offline, I'm going to have to play with it a bit to get them reasonably symmetrical. So there we have that. Now I'm not satisfied with the shape of this front bit. I need to make it look more like it's the front of the ship. So just for aesthetic reasons really, so I'm selecting that and view front. I'm just considering how to do that. There's a number of ways I could do this. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do. Right, so we're going to select two of those. And I'm just going to move those forward. And then I'm going to rotate it around the Y axis. I'm going to scale it up. I think that would look better if it went the other way. S, Y, take that down. S, X, I'm going to take that up. That looks pretty good. And what I want to do is I want to play with the end shape a little bit more, so I'm going to delete that face here. I'm going to go back into vertex select. Select two of these vertices. Trying to think how to do that. Oh, I know how to do that. Select, because what I want is I want individual triangular faces, not odds and ends. So if I hit E for extrude, hit escape, scale, something like that. Then I can select one of these vertices here and one there. Turn proportional editing back on. Reduce the whole size of the proportional edit down so that only affects the top of these. And you can see we've got a nice kind of 3D shape which looks much more like the front of a ship actually, and that's exactly what I wanted. So go into object mode, and I want to take off smooth shading as I have done for the rest of the ship. Flat shading, and that looks cool. So let's turn on more light again. Show cone. Yeah, we're in some light, so I can show you what that looks like rendered. Oh, I was playing with material for this area here, so I need to take that material off. That's better. Bring the light down here somewhere. This is one of the beauties of show cone. You lets you see exactly where the light's going to go. So we can see what it's going to look like, and that's a lot better. So I'm satisfied with that. Now you can carry on adding as much detail to the ship as you like, and it's just really repetitions of the things I've been showing you. And you will be amazed when you look back and you animate it and you've got materials on it, just how good a ship like this can actually look. So I'm going to carry on and add some more odd details to this, which you'll see in the next video when I do texturing and materials. So if you enjoyed this video, please share and subscribe. Thank you very much.
Sometimes feel like you're living in North Korea, crushed by continuous mainstream propaganda? Click the subscribe button. Subscribe to Arduino Tronic to get the antidote now. It's free. Don't forget to like, share and leave us your comments as well.